Yo, what is up guys, Grey here, and today we have got our week 7 battle of the APA Academy against Zombie and his Victoria Victinis. Zombie, much like Mid last week, he's one of those guys that we go like way back to the first leagues with, and this man was in every league, so pretty much if I joined the league he'd already be there, and we faced off many times, and I don't know what our record's like, but I think it's fairly even. I think he probably has like a slight edge, but going into this one, like at this point we're 6-0, and I think Zombie is 5-1. So it was a matter of like we're both probably making playoffs. Like looking at the league table, how it was, there was a big divide between like the top 6 and then the bottom half of the table. Just the way that the games were played, it just seemed to cause this like divide. And so at this point, it seemed fairly likely we were going to face off, potentially face off in playoffs. And I didn't want to necessarily bring like the A team against him, but at the same time we still want to win. We still want to get as many we want to like secure our place in playoffs, and I think if we beat Zombie here, then we 100% guarantee playoffs. So also another thing, I'm a little kind of strapped for time, so the next probably 4 weeks of APA and any other leagues that I upload, there's not going to be team builders, but I am still going to go through the teams, but it's just because I don't have the time, and team builders take a little bit extra time. Like it's probably like an hour of my day wasted on team builders. So yeah, we'll go through his team. First up, we got Hurricane, Flamethrower, U-Turn, Roost, Noivern with Heavy Duty Boots and Infiltrator. He has plenty of good sub options on his team, so I felt Infiltrator was more of a was a better bring than Frisk this week. Next up, we've got Rotom with Rocky Helmet, fairly physically defensive. Volt Switch, Hydro Pump, Pain Split, and Thunder Wave. This was kind of a way to deal with his Copperaja and a couple of other things I think on his team. It certainly was like quite nice so I could get a Thunder Wave off on the Komodo. It was a physical set, and yeah, Pain Split is just really nice against any G-Max that is slower than it, which Copperaja is. But at the same time, we don't take a Power Whip or Max Overgrowth in the grassy terrain particularly well, so we've got to play around that. Next up, we have got Machoke, and it is fully Spadef this week with Eviolite, No Guard, Dynamic Punch, Knockoff, Bullet Punch, and Toxic. Pretty much just hit his whole team for reasonable damage, I would say. And then we've got Celebi with Choice Scarf, Psychic Earth Power, U-Turn, and Healing Wish. This is really more for the things that he didn't bring than the things he did bring, so a bit unfortunate, but it still has some use in this game. Then we've got Excadrill with Life Orb, Mold Breaker, Earthquake, High Horsepower, Iron Head, and Rapid Spin. High Horsepower is just there in case he gets the grassy terrain up with his Copperaja. Then I don't want to be having a weakened Earthquake. It certainly doesn't help if his Komodo comes in next, because I've then got to... I do so much less damage with Earthquake. And next up we've got Aromatisse with Moonblast, Psyshock, Wish, and Protect. Fairly Spadef with a Kebia Berry. It should be able to take on any variant of Komodo and be able to take Moonblast it back for a one-shot. Especially if it goes for Clangorous Soul. I think even with Roselli Berry, there's a good chance that Moonblast still kills. So yeah, that's the team. And before we get into this game, this was a shitfest, effectively. Yeah, I'm gonna play the video and we're gonna just see how things go. I actually haven't watched this back since we played it about 3 weeks ago, so if I'm a little sketchy on the plays, it's because I didn't watch it back, and I will make sure I do watch it back the next few weeks back before I do the videos, because otherwise I'm gonna be forgetting. Also, I'm gonna go ahead and do some live editing to get rid of my mouse, because I cannot stand having the mouse on the screen. Right, okay. So we lead off with our Celebi, apparently, as he leads off with his Cramorant, and Cramorant I didn't expect to come, but I've always got a safe switch into, or I believe a safe switch into my Rotom Wash on this. There's nothing really it can do. It doesn't get toxic because it's an 8th gen mon, so I don't believe it gets Freeze Dry or any kind of grass moves at all. And here I'm just going to Volt Switch, and I should have noticed that that is a very offensive Mr. Rhyme, because that Volt Switch did a ton of damage to it, and without even thinking, I just go into my Excadrill. And granted, I didn't have particularly that many good options to take on this Mr. Rhyme anyway, but I could have just kept switching between like my Celebi and my Aromatisse, I guess, to be able to take it down. I didn't even think about it, and if this is Choice Scarf, a Focus Blast is not a roll to kill, I think, with my set, but it certainly does a lot of damage and puts me potentially in Life Orb range. I didn't think about that at all, and fortunately he misses the Focus Blast, and we just get the kill with Iron Head. I definitely felt bad about that one, because like, out of my own complete like misplay, I didn't even think about Choice Scarf, and considering the damage that my Rotom did, I would say it was like 100% Choice Scarf. And here we have like really nothing to hit this Cramorant at all, so I'm just going to go back into my Rotom Wash. And it's a very obvious switch, and Zombie's a good player, so he'll read that and go into his Whimsicott. My Machoke, again, was kind of brought for things that didn't turn up to this game, so I'm just going to go into it. I thought he wouldn't go for the Scald, just because he didn't want to pop my guts, but at the same time, I guess it makes sense that I probably wouldn't want to stay in on it either. And here he's just going to go out into his Rotom, as I'm going to get a fairly free switch out into my Celebi, and he's going to go back into his Whimsicott. I think this is going to be a common theme of this match. So he actually reveals to have eject button, and that's kind of not great for me at all, so I'm going to U-turn and go into my Rotom. I think Rotom... I go into my Machoke as he goes for the Still Surge, and we are going to just drop. I think I did want to go into my Rotom because I felt like the Max Overgrowth was way too obvious there. Like, Rotom has been my switch into every Steel type G-Max this season, and if he went for the Max Overgrowth, then I kind of just lose to, like, well, I don't lose, I probably lose like 2 more Mons to it. So here I'm just going to go into my Rotom, and I believe I'm going to go for a Pain Split. I had no other real play. I could have gone for Hydro Pump, but as you can see, that does so much damage. And on this one, instead of going for... I don't want to sack it off because Cramorant is still there. So I'm going to make what was quite a risky play, really. I think he could have probably killed me with the Steel Spike. I go out into my Noiva, and I'm just going to click U-turn. I don't take down a Copperaja from that range. So I'm going to go out to my Celebi, as he's going to go out to his Whimsicott, and I believe I'm just going to click Psychic. And here I should have clicked the Psychic again, I believe. Yep. And I'm going to see by his damage on Copperaja, it's fairly Spadef. And with that Grassy Terrain, he's going to be getting more recovery than I'm going to be able to do any damage to it. So I'm ending up going to just sack off my Rotom anyway, but we do get some Rocky Helmet damage, which is kind of nice. And it lets me get my Drill back in for free. I believe I just clicked the Earthquake, which is, again, like, I'm not making a prediction. The Cramorant is very obviously going to come in. And here he goes out into his Komodo and thinks better of it, because Draco will do a ton of damage. And he actually goes out into his Rotom, which is kind of interesting. And here I'm not really fearing the Rotom at all, as he actually shows to have Pain Split as well. Maybe same tactic as me in terms of the G-Max Mon, because Rotom does outspeed Garbodor. And here he's going to go out into his Cramorant. I believe I'm just going to click U-turn because I've seen the Ice Beam. And I'm going to go out into my Aromatisse. And we're going to take a ton from Steel Spike. That's something I didn't take into account when prepping, was that Steel Spike's going to do a ton of damage to my Aromatisse, and also it constantly brings in his Copperaja. Here I'm going to go for the Iron Head. I feel like at this point I've just got to kind of do some damage and put this Cramorant into range, and we get a flinch. So we've had 2 really big bits of luck in this game. Cramorant's now going to go down to the Toxic. Who got that kill? Oh, Rotom got that kill with the Toxic, I believe. No, Machoke got that kill. Machoke getting 3 kills for the season. And then he comes in with his Komodo, and I really have no switch in at this point because Aromatisse has taken so much damage through Steel Spikes. I'm fairly sure I just kind of lose unless I'm able to do 50% and then Psychic on the turn after, but even then it's looking sketchy because the only thing that takes down the rest of his team really is Excadrill. So like, I kind of need to keep it, but at the same time I need to do the damage to it, and if I switch out, then he's going to get potentially a free Clanger Soul or a free Dragon Dance, and I end up just losing that game. So I go for the Iron Head. Does a good enough chunk that it actually puts it potentially in range of Psychic, and yeah, we get another flinch. We have gotten super, super lucky because really my Drill should have been dead turn 2, but it's managed to stay alive and it's flinched out 2 Mons in a row. And that's huge because Komodo was actually, is it Pataya Berry or Payapa Berry? One of the two. It's the Psychic Resist Berry. And so he actually just won the game from there. So, I'm sorry, Zombie, but I mean, when you get hacks, you kind of just have to, you had to roll with it. And like, I could have lost this game. Still, like, there's still a way of him winning. I'm just going to switch out here. I don't know what I was fearing. But honestly, if I just clicked Iron Head there, then this thing dies, and he would have got, well, he would have got Tailwind up, but he would have only got it up once. So I kind of started throwing basically at this point. These few turns, I'm not really sure what I'm doing. Particularly, I'm gonna say, I just go for a Protect. I don't know why. I'm Kebia Berry. I'm just gonna die to this Iron Head. I think I was just playing super weird. Sorry, no, I wanted to Tailwind Peter out. That's why I'm Protect. And here I'm just going to go for the Earthquake. I have no reason not to. I'm fairly sure I'll actually kill his Whimsicott from this range as well. And as we can see, I actually take an Energy Ball. So had I not gone for Iron Head on the previous turn, I just needed to wait for Tailwind to peter out, and then Excadrill could have cleaned up the game. Going to go for the Earth Power, which is going to put it in range of my Flamethrower from Noivern. Had he used Tailwind, I think there was a chance. But at the same time, I think Celebi, I'm not sure if his Copperage outsped my Noivern in speed, in Tailwind regardless, but that is that was a battle that we should have lost, 100%. We did not play that well. I say we, I did not play that well. This wasn't the best team I could have brought, and I knew it wasn't the best team I could have brought against him. But at the same time, I played way too risky and way too carelessly, and we 100% should have lost. There's no way of putting it. We should have lost this game, but you know, when hacks happens, like I've been on the wrong side of hacks a lot. So when I get hacks in my favor, I guess I gotta take it. But it doesn't feel good, especially to be a friend like this. So it is what it is. We go to 7-0, and we face... Oh, who do we face week 8? Oh, we face Shay. Trying to think back. We faced Shay and his Dallas Starmies. He's got a really scary team as well. So, yeah, can we keep the undefeated streak going for the rest of the season? I'm not sure. We actually, if we beat Shay in week 8, we face PlatinumHowler, who at this point is also unbeaten. So if we can go into that game with 2 unbeaten teams, that would be like a big way to kind of end the season, albeit we have a week 10 after that. But it'd be kind of like a big way to kind of see out the season, to face 2 unbeaten teams. But anyway, not looking ahead to that one, we face off against Shay. If you enjoyed the video, then please do leave a like and subscribe if you want to see the rest of the season, as well as a couple of other leagues that I am actually going to start uploading as well. And until the next one, have a great day, guys. Peace.